In this podcast episode, Dr. Marc Brackett, founding director of the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence, joins Mel Robbins to explore the transformative power of emotional intelligence. They discuss the foundational skills needed to understand and regulate emotions, how emotions influence daily life, and practical strategies to develop emotional intelligence for improved well-being, relationships, and goal attainment. Dr. Brackett shares personal stories, research findings, and actionable tools that empower listeners to gain emotional freedom and resilience. Dr. Brackett opens by describing emotions as accumulating like a debt that demands payment if not expressed and processed healthily. Without proper emotional education, people resort to denial, suppression, repression, control, or shame, which ultimately harms mental and physical health. He emphasizes that emotional intelligence is a real set of skills that help individuals recognize, express, and manage emotions effectively to navigate life's challenges and fulfill their purpose. The journey toward emotional intelligence begins with granting oneself permission to feel. Dr. Brackett reflects on his difficult childhood experiences and credits an important figure, his uncle Marvin, for providing him a safe space to explore and name his feelings. This concept of having an emotional ally, an adult who listens with warmth, compassion, steadiness, and without judgment, is central to healthy emotional development. Unfortunately, research shows that only about 1/3 of people had such a figure growing up. For the rest, cultivating self-compassion and becoming their own emotional ally is critical for healing and growth. Dr. Brackett outlines 5 core reasons emotions matter. Emotions guide our attention, impact memory and learning, influence our judgments, determine relationship quality, affect mental and physical health, and affect everyday performance. Through examples, he shows how emotions subconsciously shape decisions and behaviors, often leading to biased or distorted outcomes if left unrecognized. Emotions also serve as social signals, communicating approach or avoidance cues that affect connection or alienation. Emotional intelligence is defined as a set of skills enabling wise emotional use to achieve life goals, improve relationships, and enhance well-being. Dr. Brackett introduces the RULER acronym, representing 5 key emotional skills: recognizing, understanding, labeling, expressing, and regulating emotions. Each skill builds upon the previous, forming a holistic toolkit for mastering one's emotional life. Recognition means paying close attention to internal states and external cues like facial expressions, tone, and body language. Dr. Brackett stresses how people often misread others' emotions, projecting their own assumptions instead of truly perceiving the feelings of others. Improving this skill requires awareness of subtleties and introspection, which is rarely taught despite its importance for social connection and self-understanding. Understanding involves identifying the causes and consequences of emotions. It requires empathy and a shared recognition that emotions like anger or anxiety may have different triggers for different people. Dr. Brackett highlights that emotions are valid data that indicate unmet needs or values, such as anger signaling perceived injustice, or anxiety revealing uncertainty. This insight fosters empathy, deeper connections, and better emotional management. Labeling is the precise naming of emotions using nuanced vocabulary. Dr. Brackett points out that emotions such as anxiety, stress, pressure, fear, and overwhelm have distinct definitions and implications for how we regulate them. For example, knowing that anxiety relates to uncertainty helps target appropriate coping strategies, whereas recognizing envy underlying stress requires cognitive reframing, like practicing gratitude. Accurate labeling enhances self-awareness and guides effective emotional responses. Expressing emotions requires discernment about when and how to share feelings safely and effectively within social contexts. Dr. Brackett debunks the myth that permission to feel means unrestricted expression. Instead, emotional expression depends on relationship safety, timing, and norms. Most people lack trusted others with whom they can be their authentic emotional selves, creating barriers to intimacy and healing. Developing these expression skills supports healthier communication and connection. Regulation involves managing emotional experiences and responses to align with personal values and goals. Dr. Brackett encourages recognizing emotions without judgment, creating space to deactivate intense feelings, and applying strategies such as deep breathing or temporal distancing. Viewing emotions as impermanent helps ease distress. He emphasizes the power of observing emotions objectively, like watching a movie, not absorbing others' provocations. This distance protects emotional well-being and supports intentional actions. Many default to ineffective regulation strategies like avoidance, emotional venting, overeating, or excessive drinking, and negative self-talk. Dr. Brackett shares a poignant story about his niece facing racial bullying and the vital role of positive self-talk and reframing learned from early intervention. Negative self-talk often originates externally during childhood and becomes deeply ingrained. Cultivating self-compassion and replacing harmful narratives are essential steps for emotional health. Dr. Brackett champions adopting a mindset of continuous growth and self-improvement, viewing each day as the first day of a new life. This attitude nurtures resilience and purpose despite past trauma or challenges. He advocates daily gratitude practices to counter negativity bias and reshape perspective. Emotional intelligence skills are not innate traits, but learned abilities accessible to anyone willing to practice recognition, understanding, labeling, expression, and regulation. The application of these skills enhances relationships by fostering empathy, reducing miscommunication, and building emotional safety. Dr. Brackett recounts personal examples of navigating conflict, building connection, and becoming an emotional ally to others. Emotional intelligence enables people to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, paving the way for intimacy, trust, and mutual respect. Dr. Brackett's closing message centers on the agency individuals have to choose their emotional responses. Developing emotional intelligence provides tools to break free from automatic reactions and create meaningful change. He encourages listeners to give themselves permission to feel fully while managing emotions constructively to unlock freedom, happiness, and goal achievement. In doing so, each person can become an Uncle Marvin. For others, paying forward emotional support and understanding.